Hi, peeps. We're continuing with my cell biology and life science in a nutshell. We're going over notes. Say hi, Ruben.
Hi.
We were going over the type of cell. Well, we just got done with the cell cytoskeleton section. And we learned that cell cytoskeleton and the proteins associated with the cytoskeleton are similar in different types of cells, but they're slightly different. And there are different types of cells in animals. And we were learning about mesenchymal stem cells, which are multipotent stromal cells. They differentiate into different kinds of cells. That are present in different tissues, and what they differentiate is into muscle cells, fat cells, bone cells, cartilage cells, different things. And then there's different kinds of pictures here. So the MSC, or the mesenchymal stem cell, differentiates into all these different types of cells. That's how they look like. In various tissues of the body. The cells and the tissues. So heart tissue, fat tissue, nerve tissue, muscle tissue, liver tissue, cornea tissue, cartilage tissue, and bone tissue. And each cell is they're different based on their different purposes and functions. They have different shapes, etc. It says here that in adult tissues, the MSC is differentiates into bone marrow, deciduous teeth, fat, hair follicles, peripheral blood, periodontal ligaments, trabecular bone, scalp, subcutaneous tissue, and skeletal muscle. And in fetal tissue, it is part of the bone marrow, the liver, lung, placenta, spleen, umbilical cord is what they give rise to. Osteocytes, chondrocytes, adipocytes, myocytes, tenocytes, stromal cells. Those are names of different types of cells. And they're just termed differently. So, okay, the intestinal cells, liver cells, muscle cells, blood cells, nerve cells, cardiac cells, all come from the stem cells. Okay, this is a picture in the microscope showing the mesenchymal cells. Of course, you have fibers holding them in place, etc. So we're done with that cytoskeleton, and then obviously the cytoskeleton, which is protein filaments, is linked to cell membranes, and this is linked to extracellular space. This is how cells are held in place and within tissues. So now we're going to learn a bit more detail, a little bit about cellular membranes. Come here. Ruben, can you read this?
Cellular membranes, including plasma membranes and internal membranes, are made of glycosylphospholipids, molecules composed of
Molecules composed
glycerol,
glycerol, a
glycerol,
phosphate group, and two fatty acid chains. That's what makes up a glycerophospholipid.
Glycerol is a 3-carbon molecule that functions as the backbone of these membrane lipids. Within an individual, glycerolphospholipids phospholipid. Fatty acids are attached to the first and second carbons, and the phosphate group is attached to the third carbon of the glycerol backbone. Variable head groups are attached to the phosphate. Space-filling models of these molecules reveal their cylindrical shape, a geometry that allows the glycopholipids to align side by side to form broad sheets.
So that's how the membranes are constructed, made of these glycerophospholipids. So in the A, we see the plasma membrane of a cell, a bilayer of glycerophospholipid molecules. So this is showing the lipid bilayer and the structural composition of the molecule itself, with its carbon, hydrogen, oxygen bonds. So in B, it's showing a single glycerophospholipid molecule, composed of two major regions, a hydrophilic head in green and a hydrophobic tail in purple. Hydrophobic means it's fatty, so it doesn't dissolve in water. It's not polar. And hydrophilic is the opposite, so it's polar, and it's ionic, so it dissolves easily in water. Hydrophilic heads are composed of choline structure. Okay, and C. Wait, sorry. The subregions. Okay, phosphatidylcholine is shown as an example. So the hydrophilic head, and then it is blue. Okay. Choline structure. Phosphate is in orange. Head is connected to glycerol in green. Two hydrophobic tails in purple. Okay, so all three of these, blue, orange, and green, are hydrophilic. The green purple is hydrophobic. So this shows the atoms, individual atoms. So phosphatidylcholine is blue. Hydrophilic. Phosphate in orange, and glycerol in green. It says note that a double bond between two of the carbon atoms in one of the hydrocarbon or fatty acid tails causes a slight kink. So right here on the molecule. So it appears bent. So it's not perfectly symmetrical. So the glycerophospholipid molecule is shown. 30 phospholipids arranged in a bilayer, 15 phospholipid molecules on each side. So that's how the bilayer is formed, and okay, so that's our diagram of the glycerophospholipid molecule, with the choline, the phosphate, and glycerol in green, and the fatty acid chain in purple. We're going to continue in the next part, learning more about membranes and what they consist of cells. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.